Hi guys, welcome to our study abroad series where we tell you tips and everything you need to do for you to travel abroad and study. On today's episode, we have a travel consultant,
Thelma,
and
Chima.
Alright, and I'm your host, Rachel Igwe. On today's episode, we're going to talk about English proficiency test. We have different type of English proficiency tests, and today they are going to educate us more about it. So, Tama, what do you have to say about the English proficiency test you have to take if you want to study abroad?
okay, basically, I'll just, before I talk about the test, most Nigerians actually don't like taking English proficiency test because they feel like, oh, maybe they left school a long time ago and then their brain is all, in quotes, rusted up. Sorry to use that word. But actually, it's not that hard. It's not actually that difficult as people feel like it is. And then there are more relaxing types of tests. So basically, one of the major tests in Nigeria is IELTS. But I will just talk about the Duolingo test. And then there's TOEFL. And I think he will talk about the remaining ones.
All right.
For example, that Duolingo test is very easy. You can take it from the comfort of your home using your system. You know, it's actually like AI generated. And should I use the word, is less expensive than IELTS. Actually, IELTS is, generally accepted all over the world compared to all these smaller tests that are still trying to gain world visibility actually. But it's not bad. You can actually use it to substitute because there are some schools that accept Duolingo tests. There are some schools that accept TOEFL, and then, for example, you score 105 in Duolingo test, it can equate to 6.0 for IELTS. So if you want to get a very good IELTS score, conversion, let's say you are scoring around 125 thereabout. So if you convert it to IELTS, that's about 6.5, 7.5 thereabout. So it's a very good advanced score actually. And then if you know your mind cannot carry to do the test, let's say you left school a long time ago, and I believe that most Nigerian schools they are always taught in English. They are taught in English. So there are some schools, you see the applications, they say MOI accepted. MOI is accepted. That's medium. People get confused. What's MOI? It's actually medium of instruction. That is, they want to know that you were taught in English in school. So they want to see that your medium of instruction during school times was English. So all of these tests actually centralize on the fact that you were taught in English during your university days.
Okay, that's good. So you just have to give them a letter for everyone instead of writing test and the rest.
Tests, yes.
Okay, all right, that's fair. So Mr. Chima. So Mr. Chima, she said you're going to complete the rest. So which other type of exams or tests do we have to write?
Okay, I think she forgot the PTE academic. That's the person test of English. That's the one she forgot. But in all, the most recognized English proficiency test is the IELTS because it's recognized across recognized across all Schengen countries. It's administered by the British councils and also IDP. So that's why most people take IELTS. Some people don't take TOEFL, some don't take the PTE, but they don't miss out on the IELTS because it's highly recognized across all schools.
Okay, when she was talking, she mentioned cut-off mark. So what's the cut-off mark for IELTS? Okay,
the band for IELTS is 0 to 9, but some schools will tell you that your cut-off mark should be 6. Some go 6.5, but I personally believe that it should be at least 6.5.
Okay. So if someone fails, it's not up to 6.5, he or she is to wait to write another one, or can just go for the MOI if the school is going to accept.
No, in some cases, some schools will allow, if you don't have the IELTS, you can provide the TOEFL. if you don't have the TOEFL, you can provide the PTE. So in the case where you fail the IELTS, if you have the TOEFL that meets the required standard, you can always go with that. Some allow that. But I personally advise that if you fail the IELTS, you should just wait and try to take it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long does it take to write another one?
Okay, it depends. It depends. There's a time in the year when these tests are meant to be taken, but I'm setting for the time for the results coming out. When you are done, okay, breaking it down, there are 4 sections to this IELTS. There's the listening section, the speaking, the writing, and the reading.
Okay.
On the listening part comes with 40 questions and it's like 30-40 minutes where you are provided with like the test. You're meant to listen. The examiner is like reading it out. Sometimes it can be computer based, so you are just meant to like pay attention to what they are reading so you don't miss anything because they won't go back to it again.
Okay.
So as they're reading, you are taking notes of important details. So after that, you answer the question. Then we have the reading where you read because they want to see how fluent you are and how good you are in reading and fast and your fluency, your level of fluency. That's what they want to check. So then we have the writing part where you write. They want to see how good you are, how good are you in writing essays. That's why people are actually encouraged to like do essays. Don't joke with your essays in school. Those are very important because you actually apply them. So I mentioned the reading, the listening, the writing, and the speaking. The speaking
Okay.
also, you also want to test how fluent you are, how confident you are, and how good your English is. Because that's why it's called an English proficiency test.
Yeah.
So your performance on these 4 sections are what is going to be counted across that bandlet of 0 to 9, which they would get the average to give you whether you are going to like score 9, 8, 7, 6. So they are just encouraged to do well so you can make at least 6.5 of it.
That's fair. So, Ms. Thelma, would you like to contribute anything to that?
Basically, I wanted to just drop a little highlight about the MOI, and then, most Nigerians don't believe that there are schools that accept MOI. Yes, you don't need to go through all of those stress, right? Countries like the UK, MOI is very, very much acceptable. Countries like Canada, yes, it sounds too good to be true, but yes, there are a lot of courses that accept MOI. And then New Zealand, I think this has been one of a major issue that, controversies around it, that do they accept MOI? Yes, they do. They actually do. It's not just, some people feel like if you don't have IELTS, you can't go to New Zealand. That's not true. There are other ways that that particular proficiency test can be waived and you can still move abroad without that IELTS to countries like New Zealand.
So what you're trying to tell me now is you don't have to study for you to have an MOI, right?
No, definitely not.
Just a receipt or a letter from your school, sorry. All right. So for someone that wants to do IELTS, well, how do you think a person should plan about it? Like, well, what should they study about? What should they read about? Like, how you're preparing for an exam.
Yeah.
What exactly are you going to read? Is it that you're going to learn how to write more, how to listen more? Is there a particular platform where you could go to do this reading, research, learning, preparation for the exams?
Yeah, I believe because okay, like I said, there are 4 sections on that. So for you to pass your IELTS, you're meant to be strong on your reading part, your listening part, your writing part, and also your speaking part. Now for the speaking part, you can link the speaking and the listening to one place so that as you're listening, you know how the person reading to you. Okay, let me say you can take up online courses. There are online courses on Udemy that partake to IELTS that can train you on that. Some courses train you on how you write, some courses train you on how you speak. Okay, like back then in primary school, I know we used to do there is this subject that was called phonics.
Okay.
That taught us how we speak English, when they say the short R, the long R, all those vowel consonant sound. So those are things that I feel you should take note of. You should take part in that because it will actually help build how you speak and also how you write.
Yeah.
Like I said, essays, compositions, all those are things that can help you to be a good writer. Yeah.
All right. That's very good. We've heard what they have to say about the proficiency test for your study abroad. Any more questions you have, you can send it to our DM or in the comment section, and we will definitely answer your question. And with that, that's going to be a wrap on today's section. Meet us same time, same station. Bye bye.